Hey everybody, welcome back to Elevator Pitch. My name is Joe Ennis, and today I am talking with Kay Loughrey. Kay Loughrey is the founder of Sweet Life Wellness, and her goal is to help people make healthy habits to maybe change their eating habits or to maybe, just get more healthy in general. A little bit more about Kay. Kay is a transformational speaker, breakthrough coach, and registered dietitian / nutritionist with 30 years of experience helping people with their health. For the last 9 years, Kay has partnered with clients to transform old habits into a healthy lifestyle that achieves their goals for better health and well-being. I thought it was a really good episode. Kay gave some really great advice to anyone who's interested in trying to live a bit of a healthier lifestyle that maybe has some bad habits that they want to get rid of. And I really enjoyed the episode. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Elevator Pitch. I am joined today by Kay Loughrey. Kay Loughrey runs Sweet Life Wellness. And Kay, please tell everyone a little bit more about yourself and what Sweet Life sets out to do.
All right. Well, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here. And yeah, I am Kay Loughrey. I'm a founder and CEO of Sweet Life Wellness, and I'm a transformational speaker as well. Mainly, I am a registered dietitian and nutritionist with 30 years of experience helping people with their health. And what I do is I help people build a healthy relationship with food.
That's cool. So, Kay, what are some things that Sweet Life Wellness is setting out to do? What are some problems that you see that the people don't see necessarily?
Yeah, well,
What are some problems that you see that you guys are trying to fix?
the biggest issue, really, which set me on the course of my purpose and what I do, is I'll start with a little silly question about this, but wondering like how many of the people who are watching or listening have ever gone on a diet. And they're like, that's silly because everybody's been on a diet, right? And that points to the problem, which is that this year, 122 million American adults will attempt to lose weight. And sadly, though, like 97 million of them are going to fail and be gravely disappointed. So, I mean, we've got a huge problem in our country. And that's why I stepped forward. And, we can talk about it as we go along, but I left a 6-figure job to do something that I feel is so important that I couldn't not step away and help people who are struggling with their weight. And there's lots of kind of fad diets out there leading people to a place where they lose some and then they gain more. So it's a field of a lot of paths that just don't work.
What are some of the main causes? I mean, 97 million people is a lot of people. Is it just because they don't follow through with it, like they get lazy, or is it just, the diets that they're on there's a problem with them and they're not, cut out for that kind of diet?
And a lot of times it is a combination of things. It is a complex, thing. And actually, I think what I'll do is I'll step back and sort of say why that's happening is because our food supply drastically changed in the last 40 or more years. So that now the food industry is churning out all of these food products. They're not really even foods that are high in sugar and saturated fats and salt. And to the tune of now this industry is worth $5.75 trillion last year.
Man.
And that's both the retail, like going to the grocery store, going to a restaurant. And so they are just putting money hand over fist in their pockets. And we're flooded with cheap food. And so then people are getting sick and have to go to the doctor. And, people's both diabetes, people are getting sicker and sicker is the bottom line with things like diabetes and obesity. And really the bottom line is kind of that we've got a lot of cheap food. And it used to be we would spend like maybe a quarter of our budget overall on food. Now it's like 7%. So it's we are a nation of, who's got ready access to food. And then we end up going into the doctor, getting a bunch of medication, and then we have side effects. Then we come back for more medication. So I'm kind of on this crusade about that. And that I feel that wouldn't it be great if we could keep that money in our own pockets
Yeah.
and be healthier and have more well-being. So that's kind of like what gets me up in the morning, if you
That's
will.
awesome. That's great. So, Kay, what would you say that, there are a lot of companies that do kind of this wellness idea and help people with either dieting correctly or, that whole idea. Again, you said it's a $5 trillion industry. What sets Sweet Life Wellness apart from another wellness group that might be trying to do something similar?
Well, we do a couple of different things. I'll tell you a little bit about what we do. But first, maybe I'll start with the why. We help people look at why they are where they are. Why are they making the choices they're making? And what are some alternatives for them? Most people just eat unconsciously. They don't think about it. Later on, they said, oh, I ate the whole bag of chips, really?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
me.
didn't mean to.
I do that.
Right, or pizza or whatever it is. So it's unconscious until suddenly they find that they're horror stricken what
Yeah.
they've done. And so one of the things that sets us apart is looking at why people are doing what they're doing and helping them. A lot of people, when they come to me, say like, oh, I'm a sugar addict, or I'm just food is controlling me.
Yeah.
Those people really need help with that first, of like, just noshing in front of the TV and getting a handle of in the moment, not just going into mindless eating.
Right.
So yeah, that's one piece. I'm also a registered dietitian and nutritionist. I'm licensed, so I can help people with anything that's nutrition related in terms of health. And a lot of people are diabetic.
Mm.
That's very popular, but I see people with all kinds of things, digestive issues. So there's a lot of people, coaches out there that don't have a credential. They just say, hey, I lost some weight, I can help you. And so I actually have a master's degree in public health nutrition, and I've been practicing for 30 years at what I do. And I've helped so many people with, I love to do the weight loss part usually it's combined with some kind of chronic illness or digestive. So there are a lot of people out there that make lots of claims around food that don't know the science, don't have any credential, and they just heard it somewhere, or they got a little certificate, or even not. They just lost some weight and now they're an
Right.
expert.
What would you say, Kay, to people, and you kind of answered it a little while ago, maybe that would be your answer, I don't know. What would you say to people that feel like they can do it themselves, but maybe they've tried before and it hasn't worked, or maybe they're just considering if they should work with a wellness group like Sweet Life or not? What would you tell those people, and why would you encourage them to work with someone like you or any other wellness group potentially that
Right.
is at your level of service?
Right. Yeah. I think the biggest thing is this is the most popular phrase I hear. I know what to do. I just need to do it.
Oh, that's again me.
But the
I mean, I'm
problem
getting
is,
there. I'm getting
the
there,
pro-
but
yeah, the problem is they're not doing it. And so then it's just an excuse to procrastinate. And in some ways, yeah, people do know what to do, but there are a lot of misconceptions out there too. And there's a lot of ways that people are getting worse and worse with some of the diets out there. So working with somebody who knows what they're doing and who's getting support, being humble enough to say, hey, I need help. And I know I need help. I need somebody, to be accountable to. who's in the know, who uses the guide. And I use the best scientific guidelines out there, the best health guidelines. And so you're not going to get like a whole lot of woo woo kind of, just make it up as we go along
Right.
type help. So I'm also doing, one of the things I didn't mention is I'm also added a genetic testing service for nutrition and physical activity, so that we can get, there are a lot of guidelines out there, and they're good guidelines, but not everybody, his genetic makeup is helped by all 20 guidelines, for example. For some people, let's say with with physical activity, some people have genes that if they did more physical activity, they could lose weight more easily. That's a small portion. So it's a 70 gene test that I use. It's called Nutrigenomics, and it's out of the University of Toronto. And I rarely will add anything but just the coaching and counseling. But this is one thing I feel that's so powerful, that it can help us pinpoint and be precise in what a certain person should do to eat according to their genes.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask that question. I assume so, but I was going to ask, are there different things that different people should do depending on their body and their genes and who they are and their genetic makeup, I guess. So that answers that question. That's really cool. What would you say to people that want to start a diet? Let's say you take a person and they've never dieted before, but they want to get in better shape. They want to be more healthy. What would be some starting tips that you would recommend someone who was going to go out today and start dieting somehow?
Right. Well, first of all, I would say don't diet, because you'll just get heavier. That's dieting is one of those things where you're going to go on it and you're going to go off it. So unless you're talking about an eating pattern like the Mediterranean diet, which is really not like a temporary diet, it's just a hard, healthy eating pattern. So I guess that would be the first thing, is look for something that's actually, you can do for the long haul, that it's not just a flash in the pan. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is to really realize it's going to take patience. It's going to take perseverance, and be reasonable about your expectations. So let's say it took somebody 2 decades to gain 35 pounds, but they'd really like to get it all off in 10 weeks. That's kind of like the crash diet idea. Whereas it really works better if you just change a few things at a time and gradually learn a new way of living that you can enjoy. And so I tell people also, don't put foods in a category of like, I can't have that. I can eat this, but not that. I say that you can eat anything you want. It's just how much and how often.
Gotcha. That's great. Well, that's good news for me, because
Yeah.
I don't want to put anything in the don't eat category.
Yeah. So for example, I love salami, but salami is just like all fat and, salt.
Right.
So I put it in kind of a once a year at Christmas time. That's my box for it.
Gotcha.
And chocolate, on the other hand, I have to have some chocolate every day. So I pace myself. I have my little dole every day. And I used to like diet all the time until I finally figured out, just pace yourself. You can have a little bit, you can have a piece of chocolate. You can have one cookie, not the whole box.
Yeah, right. Are there any tips that you would give people, not necessarily on how to, but I guess how to keep consistent with it and keep on it? Because again, like you said, a lot of people will just fall off after a few weeks. Are there any tips that you would give to keep constant with it and to keep on top of these things?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's where working with somebody is very helpful.
Right.
This is about habit change. And we'll, try something new, and then we forget, we lose focus. So that's where we need somebody to help us stay focused. and not fall off the track. And if you realize it's a permanent change that we're looking to make,
Right.
then that's a whole different ball game than just okay, what is that, 20 days to a, whatever it is. There's 20-day fix. There's all kinds of
Yeah.
fixes out there for a few weeks, but that's just a flash in the pan, and that's a great way to keep gaining weight. And in fact, I just want to tell you about one woman who, when she came to me, she said, um, I've been on so many diets. She said, when I started dieting, I was 140 pounds. And she said, 5, 6 diets later, I'm now 225 pounds.
Hmm.
And she said, if I could only get back to the 140, I'd be happy. So that's what happens is people just get on a spiral, and things get worse and worse because they're doing quick fixes
Right.
that backfire.
Right. Well, Kay, this has been super, super helpful and beneficial, I think, to the listeners. Two more questions. Number one, who do you guys like to work with? Or do you only work with people that are trying to start? Do you guys work with people that are maybe well on their way and are just trying to improve small things? Who are your favorite clients, and who do you guys prefer to work with?
Yeah, the favorite clients are people who are determined. Okay, so they're saying, no, this is my last stop. I'm done. I am doing this. And a lot of, in fact, one lady I'm working with right now has lost 24 pounds with me. She had lost 20 pounds before she came to me. Now she's lost 24 more, and she wants to lose another 20. So, I mean, I've worked with people, let's say even for a whole year. I helped a gentleman lose 120 pounds. So it takes time, and it takes persistence.
Right.
And it really takes that determination, but most of all, patience.
Right. Well, Kay, thank you so much again. Please, before we wrap this up, please plug away. Tell people how they can get in touch with you if they want to work with Sweet Life Wellness, how they can do that. Yeah, please go for it. Plug everything.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to say, which I didn't get a chance to say before, is that I'm in this game because I had to build my own healthy relationship with food. And I started as a child when I was 8 years old, and I started eating. And it was because something bad had happened to me. And when something goes wrong, we want to fix it, right?
Right.
And I was fixing it with food. And most of all, I was fixing it with the pies, cakes, cookies, and brownies my mom made. And she made the best chocolate chip cookies in the world. So that's where my food cravings started. And as a teen, I yo-yo dieted, and my weight went just up and down, up and down, up and down. So I must have dieted at least 25 times. So that's part of what I bring to the table too, is I've been there, I've done that. And, I had to work my way through both the emotional part of it and the choices. And finally, when I found somebody, I finally decided I need help. I found somebody who could pull the veil off. Why was I making these kinds of choices, and help me make not only better choices, but help me really appreciate who I really was and be able to look in the mirror and love who I saw. So what I do is pretty much, it's a holistic approach, because a lot of the people that I see are coming to me and they don't really feel very good about themselves. They don't feel, they're good enough, or they're actually having a hard time even making themselves a priority. So that is a piece of what I do, is help people build more confidence that they can do this, that they can create better habits. And it's very doable. I've helped so many people. And I'll just tell you one story about Daphne. When she came to me, she needed to lose 25 pounds. And she also was pre-diabetic and had other medical problems. And so when she came to me, she said, "Kay, I can eat a whole pie in a day." And so we did a full assessment and we figured out, what her plan was. And she stayed accountable and she lost the 25 pounds and she challenged herself, which was great. And she had more energy than I think I've ever met anyone with that level of energy. So those are the kinds. You asked me who I like to work with. I love to work with people like Daphne who like a challenge. And so I do offer a free consult. And so people can request a free consult on my website, which is at sweetlifewellness.com. And they can also email me at Kay at sweetlifewellness.com. That is sweet like the sugar. And probably those are the best ways to get a hold of me. Every week we do blog posts. We have lots of good, fresh content. So I hope you'll come join us, check us out. And thank you again, Joe, for having me.
Great. And listeners, all of the links to everything that Kay just mentioned are in the description. Definitely go check out that free assessment. It's free. Why not? You might as well. And, we can always make ourselves better. And make sure to reach out to Kay if you'd like to work with her. Kay, thank you so much again for being a guest.
Thank you.
Hey, I want to thank Kay one more time for coming on the show. It was a great time. Make sure to go reach out to her. She also just launched a podcast called Living Your Healthy Sweet Life, and I'll have the description for that down below. So make sure to check that out as well. Thank you guys so much, and remember to hit subscribe and leave a comment if you like the episode. Thanks again.